lovelies. Now, I know some of you are going to be on your couch there and be like, I can go out and buy something new for that price. Would you prefer to build something like a Liberty Bibbidi Sheila, or would you rather go out and buy something? Hey, my lovelies, before I dive into what the real cost of Liberty Bibbidi Sheila was, I want to give you guys a huge shout out. Thank you so much to everyone who bought an entry for the giveaway Jeep, became a member, or bought some merchandise. I am so excited about giving this one away. I absolutely love this build. We took it out onto the mountain here in Sand Hollow. We took it all the way over to Tennessee, where Mrs. RPM wheeled the bajingle out of it, and it is just a mean driving climbing machine, and I am so proud of this build. So good luck to all of you guys. But for the thing that you're really here for, how much did this little baby really cost? All right, it's time to talk turkey. The reality is I was never going to win this competition, especially having Paul from Fab Rats in there, because it was all to do with votes. I just knew going into this build that I was going to set my own goals. I wanted to build a vehicle that you guys could easily replicate in your garages without any specialty tools. Like, everyone doesn't have a plasma table or a plasma cutter or anything like that. And number two, keep within the budget of $20,000 that Onyx Off-Road gave us at the beginning of the year for this challenge. Well, I met one of those goals but failed on the other one absolutely miserably, and there's a good reason why. But for now, let's talk about the main modifications of this rig and why I decided to do them. The whole build started with setting the rig up for a solid axle swap and a long, issue-free life out on the trails. It took a lot of time getting the foundation for this rig absolutely perfect. Now, I added 2x3 tubing to the existing uniframe rails, and then I capped those sections off with a 1/4 inch angle iron. I also clearanced the body to make room for a fuel tank relocation and for the front and rear axle stretch. So the stock wheelbase actually starts at 104, and we stretched this to 114. So a 10-inch stretch between the front and the rear axle. That's just perfect. Cut all of the rocker material out and made sure that the material that we replaced those sections with not only supported the existing A, B, and C pillars, but they served as a foundation for the cage I planned to add. Then I had Walter and Ben work on a little random inspiration that I had actually seen on another channel called Max Specialties Motorsports. Now, what I had originally wanted to do for the front bumper was custom build a tube bumper that would obviously fit a winch inside there. But on this other channel that I found and I started watching, he had actually taken a JK bumper and managed to put it on the front of the vehicle. Well, it just so happened that I had a Crawltech bumper that I was going to put on the front of Mischief Maker, and I thought, well, why not try and at least put that on the front of the Liberty? I love the bumpers, I love the way that they look, and we managed to put that on the front of there with minimal modification, and it was way better than what I was gonna come up with, to be honest with you. Not only was it perfect, it actually left the perfect amount of room and clearance for the crossover steering I had planned to install in place of the steering rack that we ditched along with the independent front end. Now, all of those modifications did take a little longer than expected, but with doing that and getting those pieces right, it just allowed the rest of the build to kind of fall into place. At this point, I was very happy with the project overall and very happy with the budget, but that didn't last long. I was paying very close attention to everyone else's builds, and it was pretty clear that everyone had thrown the rules and concerns of the budget completely out the window. Don't think anyone actually stayed within the 20k budget, and my main concern was always tied to the overall capability of the rig. Okay, so I had two choices. I could stay within the budget and make those modifications that I wanted to make later on, or build this exactly how I wanted and take this opportunity to tell you guys why I started to ignore the budget. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the upgrades, what Sheila actually costs as built, and what a budget-friendly version of Sheila actually looks like. Okay, let's start with the optional parts. Have them written on my phone. Steel knuckles. Well, of course I was going to switch them out to steel knuckles. I was not going to keep the aluminum ones on. Aluminum knuckles are great for road miles, but for off-roading, steel is solid and a lot more durable. So obviously I was going to switch those out. Ball joint deletes, I just like them, so I put them in there. The gears I also changed to 538s. New wheels and tires. I could have kept the old ones on, but not really. They had to be for a bigger tire. Now, I have actually built Sheila to be on 39s, but I'm kind of really digging the 37s, and I think I'm probably going to keep her on them until EJS. There might be a little bit of something happening to the Liberty already before EJS, so keep your eyes out for that. Front bumper, well, I talked to you about why I went that route. Suspension seats and harnesses. Now, the stock seats and seat belts were absolutely perfect, nothing wrong with them, actually really comfortable. But I do prefer a suspension seat, and because I have built this to be more off-road than on-road, it's a nicer ride. Also, harnesses, what I've learned through the years is that I prefer a harness. It doesn't matter if there's just a harness bar behind and I get that harness on. Seat belts, I don't know. I understand why people feel a little weirded out when they wheel with a seat belt now. I get it. I prefer harnesses. It's just who I am. So harnesses were going in here. Chromoly axle shafts. We have those rigid lights on the front. Yes, I have mounted the fog light on the side, but I really like the way it looks. I think it looks really smart, so absolutely. And I used the 360s as headlights. I actually did that with Nessie as well, and realized that we had some around, so thought, why not make the headlights like that instead of having those huge bucket headlights right there. And looking for new ones, because one of them was actually broken, I went with the rigid headlights. And did you know that Rigid is actually an elite partner with Onyx Off-Road? So any deals that I got, you can get also just by being an elite member with Onyx Off-Road. Take a look at the partners. They're growing exponentially. So make sure if you become a member, look out for the elite package as well. See if you can really take advantage of those companies that we work with and build your off-road vehicle, or get your snowmobile gear, or get your hiking gear. It's awesome. Switchworks digital switcher, that works my fans, my lights, my lockers. And it's great. It's all right there. Don't need to worry about it. I also run those in my other two vehicles. The steering wheel disconnect in the steering wheel. I actually had to do that because with those seats, I couldn't get in and out with the steering wheel attached. So it had to be a detachable one. And then a new radiator and condenser. The radiator that came with the vehicle was actually cracked, so I had to get a new radiator anyway. And the condenser that sits in front of it, I probably shouldn't say this because a lot of people are gonna probably yell at me, but I didn't realize that when you undid the condenser that a bunch of terrible, terrible stuff came out. And yeah, it was pretty old anyway, so just took it out and replaced it along with the radiator. So those are the optional parts that I had. You can probably understand a little bit why I just wanted to go ahead and add them into Sheila without even worrying about the budget, because I would have had to have done it later afterwards. I was never going to leave the seats in with the seat belt or the cracked radiator. Imagine going on the Onyx Offer Build Challenge with the cracked radiator. That could have started something else, and we already had enough drama llama, but not really, but we already had enough stuff going on that trip without just adding something else, because I didn't want to replace it because of the budget. Okay, so you can see that I've been dotting prices around on the screen throughout the video so far, but to make it easier for you guys, I'm going to put them all on one side of the screen right now so that we can go through all of them and you can see them. You can pause the TV on this and do your math and get your head around it, but just so that everything is all together and you can see that. Obviously, I have my list on the phone right here because I can't remember everything, so that's just the way it is. Jeep Liberty, the vehicle itself, $1,000 from Facebook Marketplace. Picked it up in Arizona. It's beautiful. Let me tell you, the owners have actually kept in touch with me. They cannot believe what Sheila has turned into. And they're like, if you ever think of selling her, please ask us first, because, you know, what is it that you would take for us to buy her back? She's not for sale. I love her so much. Maybe in the future, I don't know. But for now, no, I'm good. Okay, wheels and tires. I'm on Fuel Wheels, Firestone tires. They were $5,315. Coilovers and springs from Fox, $2,230. Warren winch, $452. It's right in front of me and I made that mistake as well. You guys are probably thinking, how on earth did you get that winch for that price? Well, remember, some of these companies that I'm reading out are partnered with Onyx Off-Road. So if you have an elite membership with them, remember, you can dig into some of these exclusive discounts and you can get the exact same discount with some of these companies. So some of the numbers you're going to be like, what? I don't think so, but it's true. Trusses, links, joints are all from Artec. They were $3,200. Brake lines, rotors from R1, $220. Knuckles and ball joint deletes, $1,350. Front bumper, which is Crawltech, which I have across the board on my vehicles, $550. The exhaust I took up to an exhaust place in Cedar City where Nessie's had hers done. That was $450 and it's complete custom. He's incredible. He can literally take any vehicle and just magic exhausts in places that you never thought that an exhaust could be in. Kind of weird. Axles, which were the takeoffs of the giveaway Jeep this year, so $4,500. Tom Woods drive shafts, $1,100. Hydro Assist, $600. Seats and harnesses from PRP, $1,300. Axle shafts and gears from Revolution Gear and Axle, $2,860. Rigid lights, $1,583. Transfer case, again, another Facebook Marketplace find. I still have the exact same stock T-case that went in there, the $242. But remember, I needed that slip yoke eliminator in there, so that's why we did that. Switch works, $1,200. That manages all of the lockers and lights on the vehicle and the fans as well. Steering wheel and disconnect, NRG, $315. Because remember, I can't get in there without taking the steering wheel on and off. Tight in there. Also, I'm a giant Scottish Viking woman. What do you expect? I'm 6 feet tall. Let's see, tubing was $600 for that beautiful, very simple cage that we have in there. Sheet metal, $800. The radiator was $225. The actuators, condenser fluids, $800. Hardware fittings and hoses, $1,200. And shop supplies, $1,400, like paint, welding wire, shielding gas, grease, zip ties, rags, brake cleaner, acetone, grinding discs. That's one I spend a lot of money on. Flat wheel discs, Another one I spend a lot of money on, and I'm pretty sure if you have a garage of your own and you work on your stuff, you completely get it. Those two items are like the ones that I spend the most money on. I do have a plasma cutter that I use, but for the more intricate work, yeah, I use discs and grinders and grinding axles down and all that good stuff, which by the way, I really enjoy doing. Wow, squirrel. Dixie four-wheel drive to do the gears. Milt was incredible, took his time, made time in the day as well to kind of show me how all of that's done, how he does it, and that was perfect. That was $800. And then registration and insurance. I don't know why I couldn't remember insurance. $880. Honestly, really not that bad. Let's tally all of that up. And drum roll, a massive total of $35,195. That's how much the Liberty Sheila cost. Okay, so at the end of the day, am I happy that I chose a Jeep Liberty for the Onyx Off-Road Build Challenge? 100%. Am I excited that it's a moderate vehicle to go wheeling in? Absolutely again. I didn't want to build something that I already had. So I didn't want to build something that Mischief Maker could do. And I obviously didn't want to build something like a race car because that's obviously impossible without building a race car. So I'm really, really happy with the way that she turned out. I'm so happy and thankful that I had a bunch of friends come out and help me for a little bit on this build. And would I build another one? Absolutely. You guys saw that I actually bought a second Liberty. It just is not in the books for right now. I have other projects that I'm going to have to get done first, but that is the breakdown of what the Liberty actually costs and what it costs to build. My question to you is, would you consider building a Jeep Liberty after seeing and hearing about all of the components and parts and prices? Leave your answer in the comments below. I really hope that I am like inspiring some people to look out their windows to the Liberty that's been sat there in the garage or the sidewalk for a couple of years and get to going. She's a lot of fun, and I hope that you guys have a lot of fun building Liberties too. I hope that we can bring Liberties back again. Do you think that's even possible? Right, that is the breakdown of Liberty Sheila. The garage is getting cleaned up a little bit, a little more organized. We have like a whole lot of space here, which is fantastic. We now have a materials rack here that I had Chris Webb work on when he was here. You're gonna see a couple of things that we did with him. We're breaking Nessie down at the front, shoving in a grizzly locker in the front there, and hopefully getting to do a little bit of pre-running, a couple of days of pre-running in the next coming week in Johnson Valley with my co-driver in the vehicle. Let's not jinx that though, because I got a little bit of work to get done there before even thinking of heading there. Mischief Maker is getting a little work done as well, so everything's just kind of moving and grooving in the shop. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. I want to do a couple more things to Nessie before we take her out, or even like after pre-running when we come back, kind of work on a couple of things there. Guys, it is the end of December already, pretty much. And this year, or the past couple of months especially, have been absolutely insane. This year's been incredible with the giveaway Jeep, which, by the way, when I first started this video, I think I said fingers crossed to the winner. The winner's been announced. Crazy, another one done, another one bites the dust. That was incredible. And then building Liberty Sheila for the Onyx Off-Road Build Challenge. It's been a wild ride this year, a lot of shop time, which I've really enjoyed, but it's going to be balanced a little more next year with a little more boot on the ground action again, same as we did for the first 4 years we started kind of introducing ourselves into this industry and getting into it. Well, I'm still here. I absolutely love it. I'm ramping it up next year. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to be taking you guys with us. So that's it for now. I got to get back to this one right here. But as always, Thanks for watching.